on my property. You didn't win in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. I'm your host, Thomas Ahrens, and we got this guy right here.
What's going on, guys?
So we are here live at the Dale City Fishing Show. Guys, can I get a mic check before we start talking here for all my people in the comment section live stream? Give me a comment section. Do you want me to crank up the volume a little bit? Is it good where it is? Please let me know real quick. Pull this camera up here. Boom. Oh, God, you got to love technology. Look at that, guys. Let's go with, there we go. Give me a mic check. We got 10 people and their audio's fine. William Barnes, thank you. All right, cool. If you think the audio is good, then we will, that, perfect. All right, sweet. So, without further ado, basically like I was saying, we are live at the Dale City Fishing Show. We are here. It is 8:36. We are punctually late as always. Jared, how you doing?
Good, man. Good. It's pretty cool. What a perfect day. It's, 15, 20 degrees out without the wind chill. And there's about 30 vendors here right now set up with tackle, baits, some of it custom. People are rolling in. Just a great show down. First time I've been to this, but here, a lot of great things. A lot of people have traveled from Winchester to come down. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's really cool. And, again, like this is my first time actually being here, which is absolutely just a blasphemy because I've been part of New Horizon. I've known these guys forever. They put on a great show. They have a great club too. And guys, this is really cool. And of course, this is why I always, let me actually move the cameras around here. That's better. Now you can see my face. That probably helps a lot. There we go. That's better. Anyway, let me try that again now that you can see my face. This is why I do pre-editing with most of my podcast episodes, because then I can put them, I can record them, and then I can drop them at the right time. So Charlie Taylor, that dropped this week.
And guys, if you haven't seen that, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
He's going. I mean, that's phenomenal. He's a great storyteller.
He's fantastic, and what he did creating this club, the New Horizon, and the concept. And we talked about this. Jared and I carpooled on the way up here. A club where it's just about camaraderie, friendship, and fishing. And it's almost like the guy that probably invented the wheel, and everyone's like, "That's just crazy. It's never going to take off."
Right.
Like, why is it no one thought about that? And I don't know. We didn't talk about this now, but like, I know that you have a club. You have some clubs that you've been a part of where they're like, "Well, we need to be more competitive. We need to do this and this, things like that," which is fine. But it's also interesting on the flip side about just doing a fun club. It's interesting to me.
Well, you've talked too about the sense of community, and we see that here. Like, we're running into people that we saw at Richmond, and just it's, if you don't already know them, you meet them, the connections, like it's such a small world, but the fishing community is very tight. And you talk about tribes, and you do have different aspects of the kayakers, the boaters, but at the same time, we're all going after that fish and that sense of community. And what he's doing to spread that and not make it so competitive, but make it more about learning the knowledge of, that is almost a lost art, I think.
It really is a lost art. And then what he also did with the Youth Foundation. I mean, think about it. Having a youth tournament that's run for over 20 plus, 30 plus years. I mean, I know it's 30 plus years because I did it when I was a kid. And if you guys haven't watched, I know it's a long podcast episode, but that's what I love about podcasting is like a long form conversation, not like these little news clips of 5 minutes. He has, I'm not going to spoil it, but he has a kid. He's more of like a young man now. And he holds up a newspaper clipping of this kid, and he's like 8 in the photo. And it just shows you this long, and this kid's hooked on fishing. He helps out. He's part of the new club. But he was like a toddler in this photo, and he holds this newspaper clipping up, and now you see him right here, compare and contrast. And it shows you like the power that these guys have.
Hey, Craig, how's it going?
Hey, Craig, what's up, man?
Good seeing you.
But yeah, like we need more people like that in the community. And then guys, like and we're going to go through probably at the back end of the day, kind of like my goals for 2023 going into 2024. But one of them is doing more of a local legend segment. My eyes were open with this Taylor thing of how many people that the national media don't care about, the regional media don't care about, but they have had such an impact on local fishing communities and changed so many lives for the better.
You're so right. And one of the gentlemen might have been the same one you're talking about, thought so much of him that he named his business after the New Horizon. So, again, that influence, that impact. I mean, I'm looking, Charlie's probably what? I don't want to throw his age out, but
I think he's like
83. So you got that into the spectrum. I'm looking at one of the vendors over here, AJ Otero. I asked him how old he is. He's 17 years old, and he's pouring his own baits.
Oh, it's amazing.
The spectrum of, like you say, 6. We were at Richmond too. The kids casting. I mean, 4-year-olds, 5, 6-year-olds to 80.
The little girl.
It spans a girl. I mean, it's male, female. Again, that's just what I absolutely love about this industry. What you were saying before, like it's okay to be competitive. We're all competitive by nature, but don't be so competitive that it takes the fun out of fishing.
Because I think what's interesting from a business standpoint, guys, I like to talk about that a lot on the show, is the fact that if you want to have a super competitive trail, well, that's there.
Right. That's right.
You want to try to go win big money, go fish the ABA. Go do a BFL.
Yes.
Like you can go do that. It's there.
Yes.
And I think it's so interesting nowadays where you have it where everyone like wants, if you're a vegan, you're going to go to a meat restaurant and be like, well, no, you have to serve vegan to me. It's like, no, just go over the street there.
That's right.
It's such a weird thing because there is a need for clubs like this that is friendly because you've got to get people hooked.
Correct.
And this kind of will segue, I think, eventually into the other topic about high school sports where if a kid doesn't love it, he's never going to get introduced to it. He's never going to want to keep doing it. You got to have that gateway drug to get you like, hey, come on in here.
What was interesting about your Charlie interview too is early on in the interview, he talked about the first time going for the fishing, and then it was like the different species. And it was almost like for him, and this was the same for me, like it was the bass. It was catching the bass, and it might be something else. I think it was chain pickerel too, but this idea of that bass and that tug and that fight.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the jump, but then it's like, man, like you have that experience, and that's kind of what hooks you. Mm-hmm. That's what keeps you going back,
Absolutely.
And I think we all have that story of that first fish that, kind of really got us into it, got us hooked, maybe addicted to it. Maybe, there's a lot of addictions out here. I can tell with the number of baits, but
can you remember the first fish you caught?
I don't know about the first fish, but I remember the first big fish. Yeah. And when I say big fish, it might only have been 2.5 pounds, at the time, but yes, that first, first big fight, and I'll put that in quotation marks, but doesn't matter. And I hear Dad talk about it all the time. It could be a bluegill, tap, tap, tap bluegill, honestly, it doesn't matter. I think all catches are good and unique, but you go through you catch fish, you want to catch more fish, then you want to catch big fish, so different species. It was a bass. Like I said, I don't remember. It was a pond, little farm pond. I think it was probably on a grape rubber worm type thing, Texas rig. But it's it happens to us all, I guess.
Oh, it really does. And I remember the first time I opened up a Bassmasters, and they said throwing little crankbaits around docks or something like that. And I first time using the crankbait, threw it against this dock, and like on the 20th cast or whatever, I catch this one's this big. But it was the first time I caught one on an artificial lure. And then I went to Charlie's Derby. It was like the second time I think I went to his Derby. And I think they call them whopper ploppers now, but it was like a little like Hiddison torpedo, the baby one. And I remember
head and tiny torpedo. Yeah.
Yes, I got one of those in bass color, and I had it. It was an old one, rusty hooks, and I tied it on a spinning rod, and there were all these like little bass swimming around. I couldn't get them to bite. I said, let's try this. And I fired it out there, poop, 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 boom, caught it, and that was my first topwater fish ever, and that stuck out in my mind. And then I went back to worms because I wanted to win the thing, and because every fish counted back then. But it kind of got the wheels rolling. Those are 2 fish I caught. And then I heard about like this thing called a wacky worm, and then I used that, and I started to wade this creek, and I'd catch bass and little bluegill on this little worm, and each experience like that built on the other. And then I got into New Horizon and clubs like that were really chill to get you into it, get you acclimated to it. And then I got to go on my first boat ride at a tournament. And that was more exhilarating than catching fish. When you're hitting there and you got those 2 strokes humming at 6 a.m. and then you hammer down, and it's like, this is something. This is addicting. And I see the smile on your face.
No,
like, there's something about that.
Well, then I thought too, like, and it's whether hunting or fishing, but it's almost the preparation leading up to too. Before your first, fishing trip or there's the preparation of getting your line, making sure your line's on there, tying your lures on. Like, getting ready, whether it's a trout, I can remember going trout fishing when there was still a season on it. Like, it's just almost the preparation leading up to, and then the actual, fishing. It's just all of it. It's just something. And I think that's why so many years later, it's still, you can see it, the tradition is still there. Is because I guess that enjoyment that we get from that whole experience. Whether it is on a boat or on a bank or whatever,
I 100%. I agree with that 100%. And that leads us into our last topic, guys, before we get into it. And again, guys, if you could just like and subscribe to the channel, it really helps with the algorithm. Comment below if there's anything in particular you want us to talk about or you want us to show off today. We will be doing, after this, we're going to have at least, I think it was like 1 or 2 interviews, and then we're going to do a complete walk around of the show. And then after that, we're going to try to have a few more interviews as well. High school sports. So again, I love this, where you get topics that come out of nowhere because you just start having a conversation about one thing and it way leads on to way. High school sports. And, Jared, if you didn't know Jared, he wrestling, football, baseball. You've coached a lot of sports, been around a lot of parents and kids. You guys know with Aaron's athletics, I did that when I was 16 till like 34 now. So I did that a long time. And I got to see the uplifting side of youth sports, but I've seen the dark side of parent politics, things like that. And I really beg the question to Jared, and I want to talk about this. What do you think is going to happen with youth fishing? Because in Northern Virginia, for baseball example, travel ball went from this little thing to absolutely blew up to where you have 8-year-olds on travel organizations playing 100 games a year, super expensive, ultra competitive. What's going to happen with fishing?
Well, and I think the key with all of this, fishing, baseball, volleyball, soccer, doesn't matter. I think it's keeping in perspective. And so, don't have the goal that you're going to, again, high school sports, most parents' goal is to get a college scholarship so that their kid can grow up and, play professionally and buy them a house. Don't make that your goal. Play as long as you can play. And in this case, fishing, everybody may be setting out to try to be the next elite angler. The percentage of those people are very, very slim. So don't make that. Now, again, it's okay to make that goal, make that your, what's your end result. But for me personally, keeping it in perspective of be realistic too. Shoot for that, but realize that, if you don't make it, what's your backup plan? Like I've heard you talk about. And the idea to me, it's more the journey, that there are pathways. Like you said before, there's a pathway for a 8-year-old or high school age kid, a collegiate, kayak, your mom and pop, potluck tournaments or whatever. There is opportunities. Bass, they've got all, and it could cost you a lot of money, but at the same time, Brian Latimer had a post in January about a young man. He was highlighting a kid that his job, he picked up dog crap and yards and saved up $12,000 and bought himself a bass tracker, and he went out and won a tournament, right? And so this idea, it doesn't have to be the skeeter, and you can literally start. It's not about the money, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's about the experience. So I think as long as people keep it in perspective and be realistic about it, I don't think it's a problem. But to your point, there's a lot of people out there that are shooting for the moon, and it's I don't know.
And they also get forced. The parents jade the vision of what they should be doing. Because I will always say this, guys, no matter if it's baseball, football, fishing, spoilers, you have a 1% chance of making it to where you're going to get paid. And it's not trying to be whatever disrespectful. If you want to have financial freedom, it's learning, how to balance a checkbook, how to save, how to invest, have an idea of how to have a career and then multiple streams of income. It's boring, but it's the truth. And then if your dream works out, great. Or is it a dream that you can build on the side while doing something else? And the reason I'm really getting on this is it really got me passionate last night, bringing back these memories of like, you need to have not just backup plans, but have some ideas of what success is. And as much as we want to be a professional athlete or whatever, and I'll go back to that. A lot of being a professional athlete is not just working hard. It's you have to already have a built-in gift of the guy that throws 98 or 100, a lot of them, it's not like they strive to do that. They were given a God-given talent to do that.
Right.
You look like at Adrian Peterson, a running back, or Usain Bolt. Like, there's no like, well, he worked hard. Like, yeah, but also, he was built differently, and you need to understand that, and that's not a knock. And so going into that, you can have fun, have passionate, but don't commit your whole life to this and forget about everything else that has to happen. Because as an athlete, for an example, your life expectancy as an athlete is into your 30s, maybe. Like in baseball, it's even younger. Football, I think your career is 3 years, 4 years.
Unless you're Tom Brady.
Unless you're Tom Brady, yeah, exactly. And so, what's your life after? And you have so many athletes now, young athletes that I've dealt with, where they're consumed with the sport from 8 until 18 or 20, and when they don't make it, it's almost like you just got kicked out of prison. It's like, this is all I've done. What do I do now? Like the scales are away from their eyes. And this also incorporates into fishing too, I believe, where if you're going to pursue this dream and then you get to the point, it's like, I'm going to go dump $50,000 to do the Bass Opens, and you save up, and then you did that, and that's your whole future. If it does work out, it's amazing. Congratulations. But if it doesn't, now what? Because now your whole life savings are gone. What you've strived for 10 years is gone. What's your next thing? What's your next step? And I think that's so important nowadays that bass fishing, parents need to get ahead of this, because I saw this in baseball where you push this so hard. And, what are you going to do for a degree? It's like, I don't know. I'm just going to go play baseball in college. It's like, well, that's probably not the best way to go about it. And you could attest to this.
Well, you as well. I was going to say, like, you're a story of, you went to Shannon University playing baseball and as a catcher, and then, had surgery, injury, and then you transitioned into fishing. You started the fishing club there, and you and your brother were very competitive on the collegiate level. At one point, ranked top 10 in the Cabela's poll, I believe. And so did a great job with that. And then as you got out of college, you still had opportunities in different tournaments, but you've talked about that where it does cost money, the higher levels. Plus the thing with fishing too is, again, all your boat, all that stuff, fuel. But then, like, if you want to be competitive, you got to pre-fish, you got to fish. But how do jobs get in the way? You need income. And you talked about that. It's, unless you're independently wealthy, number one, or you also have to have an employer that's allows you to be off. So you have to have the flexibility. And so you realize that, and there's a lot of others out there. Nolan Miner. I mean, there's so many people that found that out, that the income, like, you need, and if you want to get to the top, you've got to be able to, you got to be good, you got to catch some breaks, but you also, that income factor, like you're saying.
Dreams need to be fueled. And the problem, I think, with my belief in the idea of you throw everything, chips on the table, is your mind becomes very desperate. This is my only shot. I have to blank. And then you're not going to fish clean. And so my realization was back, early college, was I wanted to be a small business owner and create something, because that would give me, believe it or not, job flexibility to pursue my dreams. And there are so many people that I know of now that they don't fish professionally, but they fish a lot. And it's like, what do you do? And it's like, well, I have a trade where I have 3 days on, 3 days off. I have a flexible work. And so the money's good. I don't like the job as much, but I have job flexibility. And this is something where I think, again, a lot of kids need to think about is, you might not want to do, welding or whatever. You might, I hate this, but it pays good. And then you know what it does give me? It gives me time off.
That's right.
And now my side hustle is my dream, and you can build your dream over time. That's exactly
right. Yep.
And I think your dad, I think this is important, because I want to start figuring out a template for talking about youth, about if you want to follow your dream, this is how you do it. This is the right way to do it. And your dad did basically what I did too with landscaping and all that. You had your main business, and then instead of saying all chips in on Jake's, it was like, we're set, and now I can just slowly build this dream over time.
That's right.
And if there's any of that, you want to talk a little bit to that.
Yeah, no, that's also very important. And I was thinking too, like, back to, you're talking about young people, that backup plan, pursue your dreams, and then to have the backup plan. Now, again, the other thing I love about the industry, if you like fishing or the outdoors, I mean, the biologists or game wardens with, Virginia Department or any of them, Maryland, Pennsylvania Department, Wildlife Resources, you have, like, each of these manufacturers, you've got marketing opportunities. You got, if you're engineer minded, design of, from reels to different things. There's so many different ways you can make money. within the industry. But I like what you said too as well. It does, because that's the other thing I thought though. If it becomes a job, then it's a job, and does that take away the joy of fishing? Where you're saying it's also important, the trades. Dad, his other business was Shanda Refrigeration, commercial refrigeration, and he started that at a young age and has been doing it for a long time. But that trade, like my cousin, good example. I mean, he's a tradesman, but he's got a Ranger bass boat, right?
But
so
the HVAC,
he wouldn't have that without that job.
Without the HVAC business, Jake's doesn't exist.
Exactly.
And so it's like the ends to the means is, think about it. When I tell kids this, one thing, like, what's your backup plan? Flip it around. Say, like, I'm going to do the welding as my main thing, but my backup plan is if my dream takes off.
Exactly.
And that's where I think, like, backup plans get such a bad connotation. Like with this podcast, this is not my main income. This is the dream, and this is my backup plan. Is I got my main income, my family's set. I'm going to be safe. And then I'm going to keep letting this dream grow. And if it works out, my backup plan's my dream. It works out great. And you just got to rewire your brain about how you think.
And to that point too, I did want to say real quick, like Jake's Bait and Tackle, we talk all the time, like looking at it, there's a lot of inventory in that shop, but the revenue's okay. But when you take out your expenses, I mean, it sometimes it barely makes it, as far as somebody could come in and say, man, look at this. Like you're making, millions of dollars.
Oh
Not
gosh,
the case.
Yes.
That Lucky Craft lure that he's selling for $16-17, he's making $2 on it, maybe, $1.50, $2. And you got to sell a lot of those to cover it. But anyway, that's not even the point. He didn't start that to become rich. He started that because he wanted to help others catch fish and enjoy that, that passion. But you're so right. And you see that with a lot of things. I think Dave's Tournament Tackle was another good example.
Yes.
I mean, his whole family, he was a painter by trade.
Really?
He fished, but he also had a painting business. And then I think one of his daughters was in horses. I mean, there's a lot of different revenue sources to help, run that kind of thing. And all anglers know that, it's an expensive sport at the end of the day. But the idea of, again, keeping it in perspective and, doing things you enjoy. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is enjoy it. Don't make it a job. We talked about that too. Don't take it so serious that it takes the fun and enjoyment out of fishing.
I can't say it better myself. So I guess what we're going to do here, guys, is I'm going to go solo real quick while Jared goes and you want to go grab?
Yeah, I'll grab some.
Whatever his name is. Click that off and you're good to go. Yep. And so basically, guys, thank you so much for joining. And guys, I want everyone right now just to get some positive energy going. Could everyone put an emoji in the chat real quick? It's Saturday morning. We're into February. It's cold outside. It's nasty. Let's put some emojis in the chat, please. I really wanted to see like some smiley faces. For you older individuals, if you don't know what an emoji is, I'll show you real quick. Boom. I just put an emoji in chat. Just a smiley face, something like that. Let's get some positive vibes going. It's going to be a beautiful day here at the Dale City Fishing Show. We're going to have a lot of guests. The plan is we're going to have a couple people come on the show real quick, and then we're going to break up into our special camera gear. There we go. Carly Bird with the puppy dog. Hey, let's do this. This will be fun. Everyone put an emoji in the chat, and I'll pick one. You win a prize. Let's do that. The best emoji it's not like, I don't have to censor it. That would be good. That'd be fun. I like that. Boom. Jenny, I like that. I think is that a firework or an explosion? Yeah, an explosion. Saturday, it's an explosion. I mean, come on. It's a great day to be alive. It's Saturday. Springtime is just around the corner. I'm really excited about that. We're going to have another big giveaway coming up. I want to tease it a little bit. We have a big giveaway coming in March. I'm giving away another guided fishing trip. So that's number one. I want to let everyone know about that. Starting in March, we have another big guided trip giveaway coming. 2-3 minutes? Okay, perfect. So I'm super duper excited about that. I will give you more details as we get closer to that. But yep, that's going to be coming. The buffalo. William might be winning this. William's got the buffalo. That is a great emoji right there. I really like that one. The Travis is going with the hammers. Travis is an absolute stick himself. Oh, man, I had a thought real quick. Oh, yeah, I didn't remember what I was going to look at. It was the MLF stuff. Major League Fishing just finished their Toyota series on the chain, the Harris chain. And I just want to let you guys know here that my boy, a friend of mine actually did extremely well there. Let me pull this up for you real quick. Let me share the screen. Share screen, please. Thank you. Boom. So here we go. Perfect. So we got the Harris chain stats up here. It took 45 pounds over 3 days to actually win on the Harris chain, which I think is actually surprisingly good weights. That's really good weights. But then we got this guy. Let me find him real quick. I cannot believe they haven't updated this yet. That is so weird. They have not updated it. Where's the winner? 1, 2, 3. Oh, they have not updated the Harris chain weights. That is crazy. So what's interesting, let me pull this up right here. So they haven't actually updated the weights again. So I was having conversations with a couple of guys that were down at this event on the Harris chain. And one of my friends actually finished 13th. He finished 13th on the Harris chain, and there was over 300 boats at this Toyota Series event. An absolutely crazy amount of people right there. But they haven't updated it yet, which is insane. I'm going to actually ask him real quick what the winning weights were. Let's see. We got Travis in the chat. Travis, definitely appreciate the guided trip you gave away last time. I had a blast. Travis, I'm so glad you had a good blast. And that's honestly why, I mean, in a perfect world, if fishing the DMV is ever blessed to actually make money, and it's not just a place that I just burn my future cash revenue, I would like to give away a guided fishing trip once a month. So 12 trips a year. And you'd be like, well, why would you do that? It's like, one is, I think it'd be nice to give individuals that do not have a big bass boat or whatever a chance to get out on the water. And two, it helps promote local guides. It helps get them revenue. It helps them get maybe a new client base. And you guys get out there and to learn. Did you catch anything, Travis, when you were out there? Please let me know. Roger Merritt. Roger, you might be winning with that one. That fishing one's pretty nice. Cheers. Jeff, yes, I agree with that. Alcohol would be amazing this morning. Scott, good morning. My goodness, our chat is blowing up. That is freaking awesome. But yeah, I mean, let's get to the Harris chain real quick. I think it's absolutely insane the weights that you're seeing there, and especially coming from a body of water where you have had massive grass kills. You know, the Harris chain, the St. John's, Okeechobee, they're all dealing with really, really bad spraying issues. And I really think it's affected the health of some of these fisheries. So to be able to see these kind of weights where you're talking like 22, 23 pounds a day, that's pretty incredible. Now, again, I don't know like who actually won, but we will find that out and I'll get that to you. But we are going to have my guy on at some point to kind of talk about how successful, how awesome it was to actually finish 13th out of 300 professional athletes. This guy, if you didn't know, spoilers, he's been on the show before. He won the big Toyota event on the Potomac River last year. He went and he won Harry Linsenberg the fourth. What you got? He's coming right there. He won actually last year, and so he will be coming back on to talk about his Okeechobee event, which will be absolutely a lot of fun. Now, I know you guys really don't care about me. I'm going to stop talking, and we got another special guest on. Dude, have a seat real quick, and we'll get you going. Jared, why don't you hop over here? So, guys, we're going to have Jared. He's going to do an interview while I get the live streaming equipment set up, okay? So I'll talk to you guys later.
You're going to have to speak up because I can't hear out of one ear.
Make it happen. I got a booming voice and hey. So we're live, and I'm gonna have you scooch. Actually, I can move this too. There we go. That's good.
Right there.
Yep. Perfect. So, guys, we've got Larry Martin with us right now, and most of you probably know Larry. But for those that don't know, Larry, tell us a little bit about yourself. First of all, just tell the viewers who you are.
Well, I've been fishing for a long time. both Potomac River and Lake Anna, main two bodies. I'm kind of semi-retired right now. I'm an excavation contractor, been one for 22 years now. The Veterans Day Fishing Tournament is something that I put together 10 years ago. This will be our 10th year. We did miss 2020 because of COVID. We try to put together a tournament to pair veterans and regular anglers together. Considering 10 years ago, we started out with 8 boats. This past year, we had 118 boats.
That's awesome.
So it's a little bit of a chore. I have to usually start working on it in June to accumulate all my sponsors and start putting the package together. I do most of that myself up until along about September, and then I start getting a lot of help from family and friends. Donations have been through the roof this past year.
That's great.
We're looking forward to another great year. This coming Veterans Day, I always hold it on Veterans Day.
That's awesome.
This past year is the first year we had to actually move the date because of the weather.
Right.
That Friday was really nasty weather.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I did that because Saturday turned out beautiful.
Right.
But this year it actually falls on a Saturday. So it'll be probably about the biggest tournament that we've had yet.
That's awesome. So why did 10 years ago, why did you decide to start this? What was the reason behind it?
Well, go back in my history a little bit. I went to Virginia Tech. Back then it was VPI.
Okay.
And I was in the Corps of Cadets. After 2 years, I couldn't pass a physical to fly. So I kind of missed that opportunity to be in the military. I don't think I missed the draft, but I wasn't called for the draft back in the Vietnam War. Do I feel guilty about that a little bit? Maybe. I'm not sure. But I've always had a thing in my heart for veterans. The guys that put in the time with overseas, here at home, I think the world of them. I put this tournament together kind of, I don't like to call it the everyday veteran. That's the wrong term. But it's the guys that love to fish, number one. Number two are fairly local, but I do have guys come from all over. The guys that are at Fort Belvoir or down in AP Hill or any of those other places, that are active. It's for active, retired, military, men and women. We cater to all of them. Love to have them.
That's great. You're exactly right. I mean, we can't go out and enjoy, fishing here in the United States if it wasn't for the men and women that have served and given us the freedoms that we have. And it's great that you've done that and you're giving back. Is it something too? Is this a situation where you need more boaters, like guys with boats to be able to if you get more veterans, are they doing that on their own where they're pairing up, or is it something where are you looking for more boaters because you've got a veteran that doesn't have a boat that needs to get on a boat?
Well, I kind of open it to everyone as far as a boater and co-angler. I'd say 75% of the guys that fish already have a veteran in mind that they fish with.
Right.
So it's a mixture of 2 veterans in a boat or a veteran and a co-angler or vice versa.
Gotcha.
I do have regular supporters that are not veterans. I open it to everybody.
That's smart, yeah.
We hold $5 out of each entry fee, which is $50 per entry fee. We hold $5 back, and the winning team gets to select a charity, a veterans charity of their choice. Last year we had, I think the pot was a little over $600.
Wow.
And it was donated to the Wounded Warrior Project.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty much taking care of that. But, we give, in addition to that, we give out the veterans and the supporters a lot of great prizes from the
That's
sponsors
what I've heard. I think everybody walks away with something.
Yeah,
from what
I
I've
think
heard.
besides to take the cash out of the equation, we gave over $12,000 worth of prizes last year.
Wow. Good for you. Got a question here from Brandon. Wants to know if you are related to Scott Martin.
No,
You didn't.
no, I'm not. I'm not related to Scott Martin or Matt Martin that fishes Lake Anna and always beats us. There's a lot of Martins out there.
A lot of Martins.
My son Lee fishes with me a lot, and he helps. He's my right-hand man at the tournament. He and Dave Fauntleroy.
Yep, we're gonna try to get Dave on later. Yep.
We they handle the weigh-in for me because I've got a lot to do that day.
Well, that's what people don't understand. Even this, we talked about earlier. Any type of event that you do like this, those that come and see it the day of, you see it, but they don't realize how much goes into it prior to and then afterwards. And so, and sometimes, like you say, it can almost become a year-round deal. So what, for folks that haven't participated in this, what's the best way for them to find out information, and then how do they get registered for this next Veterans Tournament that'll be coming up?
I usually don't start putting anything out for the tournament until about August.
Okay.
As far as flyers, Chris McCotter gives me a good deal on advertising in Woods and Waters magazine. I advertise on Facebook a lot. My Veterans Day fishing tournament is on Facebook. I have a page there. You can also go to the website, which is veteransdayfishingtournament.org.
Okay.
We are a 501c C3 nonprofit. So that comes into play a lot for the donors. They get a little bit of a write-off at the end of the year, and usually this time of the year I'm sending out acknowledgement letters so they can take advantage of that.
There's a couple things I want to say real quick here. If you're a business, small business, or a supporter of veterans, reach out to Larry, and they're looking for donations, whether it be product or money or whatever, reach out to him. Anglers that love fishing, make this, like you said, it's going to be on a Saturday this year. You've heard where he started with 8 boats and now over 100. Let's try to make this one this year, 2023, the biggest ever. And just, get people out. And sometimes it is, too, encouraging people that maybe are apprehensive or, maybe don't have a boat or, I don't know if I want to do that. Sometimes it just takes a little nudge. Hey, let's go fishing, and to get them out there on the water, just to enjoy God's creation. I mean, I think that, too, we talk all the time. Thomas talks about community and just the camaraderie and just that relationship with each other, and then just to enjoy the outdoors and that fishing experience. You can't put a price tag on that. And so I encourage the listeners out there to, go online, like you said, go on Facebook, like his page, support it, and hopefully we'll see everybody out there. I'm looking at a veteran now, Gary Colt. He fishes a tournament.
Yeah.
Gary
didn't make it last year. He had kind of a major breakdown coming across the mountain.
Yeah.
But
they're a good stick there. And so in closing right now, anything else? Like what were the 2 bodies of water you grew up fishing? Or which 2 bodies of water do you like to fish or prefer to fish?
Well, I prefer to fish Lake Anna.
Okay.
Especially this time of the year. Potomac River, we typically don't move there until the boat traffic at Lake Anna starts getting just too bad. And
so
anymore,
I want to ask a question about Lake Anna. You say this time of year, and it's winter, but I know when we opened the bait and tackle shop, one of the big things we learned was fishing never ends, and wintertime fishing can be some of the best times. Other than dealing with the temperatures, you can catch some big fish. They broke the 30-pound mark in a tournament, 5 fish. Talk just a little bit briefly here about why do you like winter fishing on Lake Anna?
Big fish. That's number one, big fish.
Okay.
Last fall, I guess, fall before last, Ed Dustin and I were talking, and I kind of had, Ed's a good friend of mine, I kind of had to beat him over the head to talk him into that big bass tournament. Now he's glad he did it.
That's awesome.
That was one heck of a day.
Wow.
And we all froze. I was in there helping. I wasn't fishing. But that was them guys, I forget, they would have had the new record for their 5 fish. But it's a big fish time of the year. Jerk bait mainly.
Okay.
jig some, A-rig some.
Mm-hmm.
But I love fishing this time of the year because, number one, the lake's not crowded at all.
That's right. There's not a lot of competition out there right now. A lot of people aren't going to go out when it's cold like this. But like you said, the potential for big fish is good. So jerk bait, I mean, that's a good good advice, good tip, because I know that's the thing for us too. And that's one thing we talk about. One thing you talk about New Horizon, the idea of being able to share information, and we get that all the time. Like, what should I throw? What do we throw this time of year? And people that are willing to share and just give a tip, and you don't have to give all your secrets, but jerk bait, tie on a jerk bait and go out there and throw it, and the opportunity to catch a good one's there.
This past year, and a lot of people give me grief about it, but I throw drop shot a lot.
Really?
On Lake Anna.
Okay.
And this past year, I caught my 2 best fish on a drop shot.
There you go.
One was 689 and one was 653.
Wow.
6-pound test line.
I tell you what, that's another topic. 6-pound test line, 6-pounder. I know in the shop too. Again, you got those guys that are power fishermen. They would cringe to think about. You never find 6-pound test on their rod. But a lot of times I say too, I would challenge. Not you can't catch big fish with those other rigs, but in a clear lake, especially in the wintertime like that too, I would challenge. You may not get bit if you're not downsizing your line.
Right. And on the flip side, one thing about the Vendors Day fishing tournament and that time of the year, you won't see tremendously big bags. If somebody has 16, 17 pounds, that'll win that tournament.
Gotcha.
We've been guaranteeing $1,000 for first place,
wow.
$500 for big fish. But I'm thinking about upping that this year because I know I'm going to get one heck of a turnout. I'd love to get 150 boats this year.
There you go. There's our goal, guys, 150 boats for the veterans. And I agree with you. I don't think there's any reason why, you couldn't get that.
Right.
Where does it go out of again?
Anna Point.
Anna Point
Marina. And if you guys need to contact me, there again, I'm on Facebook. You can hit me personally on Larry Martin on Facebook. If you're down there at Lake Anna, at Anna Point and Fishtails, Dave's been a friend of mine since the early 90s, so he knows how to find me. But it's really a great time. We feed everybody. Ted Lemke, he comes and cooks. Big barbecue. And family, I got all my kids. I got Lee and 2 daughters and 4 grandkids. My wife, Linda, they all come down. They're a big part of it.
That's awesome.
So we all chip in.
No, Larry, that's great. I mean, that's, again, too, we talk about community and just relationship, families. And I tell you, too, another good thing that I don't have a lot of tournament experience, but by going in and fishing a tournament, you can learn so much, too.
Oh, yeah.
When you're on the water, and it might be seeing, like, where boats, are sitting off that 208 bridge or, I think it's funny, too, because everybody thinks all the secrets, well, you go out there, you're going to – but you can learn. I remember seeing McCotter out on a flat the last time we were out, and it's like, and we didn't know about it, but we learned. It wasn't just because he was there. We had actually set up, and then he came in. So it just kind of you can learn when you're on the water.
Oh, sure.
And then obviously off the water too, in conversations. And again, it's not about burning spots or trying to, find out everybody's secret lure so much. But one thing I know as we get older, the older guys, I'm creeping up into that age, like they don't mind sharing,
Right.
There's some out there that don't want to share, and that's okay too. But if you come out to these things, again, not only are you going to have a good time, but you're going to learn too.
Oh, sure.
And
sure.
you can learn from your partner. You can learn from each other. I mean, just seeing the bags come in too. I tell people all the time too is you go out there by yourself and you may not have a very good day and you think, well, I really suck. And although I'm not very good, but at the same time, you see, like you're saying, 12 pounds or 15 pounds, 16 pounds won it. Heck, you might end up 3rd or 4th where you thought you didn't do very good.
Yeah.
So, or you see a lot of times you come in, maybe out of a 100 boat field, you might have 30 or 40 that don't weigh 5 fish,
Exactly.
And so again, if you went out there and you caught 2 fish, you're thinking, man, but you come back and you realize there was 30 other boats that only had 2 or 3 fish. It kind of puts things in perspective, and it kind of shows us too that, again, fishing is is and always has been. It's not an easy thing. It's ever changing with weather conditions. Those fish are moving. They're moving up. They're moving back. They're, you know, you could be on fish. You're just not catching them. Yeah. And so,
well, I try to share as much information as I think if somebody needs help with something,
right,
I will certainly help them in any way I can.
That's awesome.
I also have, this past year, I started a little tournament for weekday guys called Geezers 55 Plus.
Awesome.
And it's for guys 55 and older because a bunch of the older guys have been bugging me for years to do that.
That is great.
And we usually hold 2 a month. We did them last summer up until September, middle of September. And this year I'll probably be starting them on Lake Anna, probably late March. And the good thing about fishing during the week is you don't have to compete with all the other big tournaments.
That's right.
All the other big
That's
boats.
right.
You're not cutting into somebody else's tournament.
That's
time.
right.
It's just a fun time.
That's a great idea.
We average 12, 15 boats, you know, just a bunch of old guys.
That's so cool.
We have a blast.
Oh, I guarantee it. I mean, that's at the bait shop, you know, we have coffee guns, old timers come in, and I could just sit there for hours and just listen to them. I mean, and Jennifer talked too about doing an old and young tournament too, because I mean, these old timers, they know what's going on. I mean, you guys have been around the block a little bit, and so
considering I grew up on Chesapeake Bay, and I didn't know a thing about bass fishing until the early '90s, so
that's awesome.
Come a long way.
That's right. No, well, Larry, listen, man, we just appreciate you and what you're doing for the veterans. That's one of the comments here. Great job, Mr. Martin, to recognize our veteran service from William Barnes. And so, hey, Scotty, what's going on? So just thank you for what you're doing, and
absolutely, and thanks for having me.
Keep doing it. And like we said, he wants to get up to 150 boats here. This one, it's on a Saturday, so go ahead and put it on your calendar, plan on it. And Thomas, I think we probably should do the same thing, have the podcast there. So we'll see if it works out. And that's the thing too, you could get some good stories too from
November 11th, Veterans Day.
November 11th, Veterans Day, and Larry, thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jared.
If you guys are close, come on down. And he and his son, they've got a booth set up over there. They got some good Huddlestons, some good swim baits, some good stuff they're selling also. So
cool.
Keep up the good work. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Guys, I think we're about ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thomas has got rigged up. I think we're going to make a kind of sweep around. We're at a fire department here, Hillendale Fire Department. So we're going to kind of go around, I think, Thomas, right, and check out what's on the floor.
Yep, so what we're going to do, you can take that and just get in front of the camera real quick and just talk. Let me just check the audio. We'll get going. And then we'll be getting going here, guys.
Not too tall. Picking up. Keep talking, picking up. Guys, spinnerbait here, one of the places we're going to be looking at. Chris Tedrick is down here, CT Custom Spinnerbaits. We're going to be talking to him. I had him do a custom one for us. I like white. You've heard me talk before about minnows. Before they die, they bleed out either on the gill plate or on the underside on the belly. And so copper blades, we were talking about this, one of my favorite spinnerbaits, if you will. He made this custom, sell them at Jake's.
Perfect. All right, we're good to go. Oh, I just turned the audio off. Williams, thank you so much. Huge shout out. Thank you so much. I literally turned the audio off because I'm a dumbass. Thank you so much for checking that out. Again, guys, like and subscribe. We have 5 people liking this live stream right now. Only 5. That is disrespectful. And we've had almost 30 people on this show already. Could you please like and subscribe to the channel? I want to get this up to 20 likes all day. So this is what we're going to be doing. We are going to take a 4-minute countdown clock break, and then we're going to be going towards our live stream walkthrough of the whole event. please bear with us. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have my phone being the live stream camera. We are one person short of doing this properly, one person short. So the command center is not going to be occupied. So I'm not going to be able to see your comment sections as well. I'm going to be using Jared's phone on my person or his person to check if there's any comments. But please leave as many comments as possible. And then again, if you guys could, and if you feel it in your heart, super chats are more than welcome. It really just helps me get better equipment, grow this thing, being able to give you guys better and better content and be able to afford, getting a hotel, driving down to this thing and doing that. With all that stuff, plugs are over. 4-minute intro break, and then we're going to be going to a live stream walkthrough of everything, okay? 4-minute break.
On my property, you didn't win shit in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Go.
All right, guys. We're at the Dale City Tackle Show. Going to make a sweep on the floor here. Check out some of the different baits, vendors, people.
Can everyone hear Jared okay? Sounds like we're good.
All right. A lot of people still rolling through. Like we said before, we got about, I'd say probably 30. I think I counted 27 to 30 tables set up. A lot of good stuff. There's some custom stuff. There's stuff that is old, but people love old. They don't make it like they used to.
He's very loud. Cool.
You find that lure that you threw back in 1978. We're going to start here, just kind of go around in order. We got our man Dave here. We're going to be bringing Dave on at the end of the show because I know he's got some good information.
What's up, Jared?
What's going on, Dave?
Hey, 2023, Hillendale Flea Market.
What's Santa putting on right now?
Man,
Santa, huh?
they just had the record 5-fish tournament record, 30.11 pounds. That barrier was broken. And this is Old Timers Row office on this row. Been here for years, man.
The Old Timers Row.
Yes, sir.
Dave said he's been here for 30 years, I think, right? 30 plus years.
I started fishing the marina and guiding back in the late 80s. Started working there in 1989. Hey, hope everybody's doing well, man. Thank you, Jared.
We're going to do a deeper dive after the show and kind of pick your brain a little bit about what you've seen at Lake Anna over the last 30 years. So I'm looking forward to that.
Everything calms down, looking forward to
I like it.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jared.
buddy.
All right. What's this man's name, Jared?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Fish TV. Nice to meet
All
you.
right, I'm Dave. All right.
All right, cool. Everyone can hear you. Looks good.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Yeah, that's sweet. William Barnes says, I remember. William Barnes says he loves Dave. Went on a trip with him at Lake Anna.
Got old Chris Tedrick here. Was talking about this custom spinner baits. So,
What's up, Jared and Thomas?
A little bit about your experience down in Richmond again. This doesn't get old.
Got to meet Davey Height down there, and something else. I still relive it all the time. Throwing the spinnerbait down there in the hog tank. I've hit a couple people with it today down here, saying about Davey Height fishing my spinnerbaits.
Yeah.
And I've sold a few who want it too, so
Yeah.
I need to get a picture made of that.
They jacked it in that tank, man. I mean, the spinnerbait works.
For sure.
Bringing back the spinnerbait. After the jackhammer took over for a while, we're going to bring back the spinnerbait in 2023.
Don't quit throwing the spinnerbait
That's right.
anywhere in the country.
That's exactly right.
For sure.
Good
The
stuff.
spinnerbait, you can go see my buddy over there, Chris Hornbaker. He's airbrushing paints too.
Yep, saw his
He's
stuff.
got a lot of good stuff. Everything's $5.
All right, cool.
He airbrushes everything himself. He's a good buddy of mine.
Good deal.
For the people that don't know, we have over. So right now, guys, we have over. Let me find it. We have over 40 people watching. Probably new people. What makes your spinnerbait stand out? Walk through your spinnerbaits.
My spinnerbaits stand out. They're all custom colors. Everything is totally handmade.
Pick one
What's-
up.
Pick one.
This camera. This one.
Everything is totally handmade. I got the Mag Willow style. That's a 3/8 there with a bluegill style body I came up with. And then I got the Colorado style for the guys who like Colorados. I have willow blades for the guys who like willow blades in the river. Got different sizes. Right now I don't have any of the smaller ones. I brought all my heavier stuff down here, but it's mainly 3/8, half, and 5/8. And Thomas and I have been talking about it. I could be open to getting a mold depending on what you guys want as far as heavy wise. So
and Jared and I were talking about this, that there's a lot of people are coming in talking about, like, for rivers when the current's ripping, they want a spinnerbait heavier. And down south, like in the tail races of Lake Eufaula, places like that where they're fishing for smallmouth, they have custom super heavy spinnerbaits to work in the current. And there have been more people in the shop. I know in the summertime when it was really ripping, I was like, I wish I could find an ounce spinnerbait. And no one makes them. And so maybe, spoilers, this man might be the only guy in Northern Virginia that's going to have them. Maybe. Not going to put any words in
So if you guys, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. You know, if you guys want it, let Thomas know. Say it on here. I'll get the mold. I'll start making them. Come up with different colors for it.
Put a Y in the chat right now if you'd be interested in purchasing a 1 ounce spinnerbait specifically designed for fishing for smallmouth in fast-moving rivers. Just put a Y or a yes in the chat.
Just like my bullet style. It'd be the same style as these, just heavier.
Awesome stuff.
Good stuff. Thanks,
Appreciate
Chris.
you guys. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. All right, buddy. Gonna slide over here next door. Okay.
I thought it would be a good
No,
idea.
that's good.
You like that one?
I mean, it's whatever. What's going on? We got AJ here. Otero. Did I say that right? All right. So AJ, how old are you?
I'm 17.
17 years old. When did you start pouring?
I started pouring, what year is it? I think in 2018, but then I started taking it seriously when COVID hit.
Okay.
Because I would, this is what I would do. I would get up, I would turn the computer on while I'm in the garage, and then I would be answering, so I didn't get in trouble. And then I would pour from 8 to 3, then go fishing, and then keep doing it over and over again because that's all you could really do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So what bodies of water are you fishing?
I fish Quiet Creek and Smith Lake in Quantico mostly.
That's awesome. So you said 17 or 18?
17. I turned 18 in March. So almost there.
18 years old, 17 years old, and already got his own little bait company here, bait business. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, at dragsetfishing.com. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm not on TikTok yet.
All right. That's good stuff, man. Thomas is an entrepreneur himself and started some business young, landscaping business and different things.
Oh, sweet.
And
yeah.
so that entrepreneurship to, what is this right here?
Oh, that's the hammerworm. I designed that for shaky heads. Can I put the video up to the camera to show them the action?
Yes. So can you see that, Thomas? Do you see that action on there?
That's badass.
That is wild.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
What?
I did a few tournaments at Lake Anna with my friend Eddie Davis, and I think the first cast under a dock, he caught like a 3-pounder on it, and it helped us win the tournament. I actually used it on the back of a chatterbait because we were fishing a little trench where a pond used to be dug out, but it flooded, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I designed it for shaky heads and weighted Texas rigs, but, so yeah.
Well, listen, man, keep up the good work.
Yes, sir.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Yes,
I appreciate
sir.
it.
No problem.
This is one of the cool things about doing this is all these local guys that you're able to actually find. And again, if you guys didn't hear me because my mic was off, I want you to put this is what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm starting over here, okay? I want you to put spinnerbait in the chat, and then I'm going to pick one of you guys, and I'm going to give away one of Chris's spinnerbaits, okay? You got to put spinnerbait in the chat, and you will get a spinnerbait, okay? And I will even, because he's best friends with Davey Height, I'm going to have him sign the spinnerbait too. Okay, but you got to put spinnerbait in the chat, and then I'm going to randomly pick one of you guys to win one of the best spinnerbaits around. Okay, cool. I'm grabbing another popsicle. This is dumb as hell. I don't know why I don't have enough popsicles. We go kayak, guys? Why not? Go for it. Unless you tell them VKE 10.
What's going on? Fishing the DMV here. Tell us who you are and who you're representing here.
Hey, I'm Joe Moschetto. We're from Virginia Kayak Anglers Elite. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Moschetto, VKE, Virginia Kayak Anglers Elite.
Are you guys looking for new members?
Absolutely. So
In
we
the
are
club.
a members-only club. We will host a 4-tournament trail series for Snakehead this year here in Virginia. So we'll start in the spring. We're going to work through early to midsummer and finish up the trail then. We're going to have an Angler of the Year award at the end. So if you're looking for us on, you can look for our website at fishvkae.com. We're also on Facebook and Fish VKAE on Instagram.
And when is that kicking off again?
So you can join now. We're on the Fish and Chaos app. If you're familiar with that tournament management system, you can find us there. Just type in VKAE again, and you'll find the club, and you can join us there. We're taking members now, so bring it on.
That is awesome. Chasing snakeheads out of a kayak.
Yes,
That is good stuff, isn't
there
it?
you go. I believe we're the first. We're not going to be the first snakehead tournament, but we're the first kind of organized club
Absolutely.
to actually host an organized trail system. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That is very cool.
We got a lot of sponsors. We got a lot of trophies. We're gonna have a good time.
Good for you. All right, man. I'll tell you what. Just so much good information out there.
And then also, guys, we will have them on for a podcast episode either here or later, so we can go more in depth, and then we can link all their stuff in the episode description. Again, we're just doing a vague overview right now of everyone that's here, just to give you a flavor for who. Now, what was insane is I went to the computer, Jared, and there was like over 8 people that already did hashtag spinnerbaits. So apparently,
good.
people want his
That's right,
spinnerbaits.
it's coming back.
So what we'll do is we're gonna have Chris. I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna have Chris pick the winner,
right,
and then from
that's
that
good.
we'll go that way as well.
That's good.
So we got our next person here.
Morning, sir. Afternoon.
Hey, how are you?
I've never seen so many. I've never seen so many jerk baits and crankbaits in one location. How many years has it taken to get this collection?
Several years. I don't bring them out very much, but I've been hoarding them up for a long time.
How many tackle boxes do you have right here?
About 20.
20 tackle box, just plumb full. Unbelievable. What are some of your oldest ones?
I've got some antique stuff over here.
Okay.
Some older stuff in the wooden boxes, but a lot of this is 70s, 80s, early 90s stuff.
And is it true they talk? I know it's true, but they say they don't make them like they used to. Like the baits that were made in the 70s, 80s compared to today. I mean, there's some are maybe better today. Some could say, but I guess material that they used.
Right.
So wow.
Balsa baits are always really effective, and but the technology's come a long way.
Right. Right. Crazy when you have them all like in one location like this to see how many there are, and no two are alike.
Right. Great way to buy them. It's a lot cheaper than going to.
That's right. No, exactly.
Sportsman's Warehouse or even Dick's Sporting Goods.
Absolutely, tried and true.
Yeah.
Already tested.
It's a great way to pick up some lures.
That's right. What do you have another show you're going to next after coming up in next couple months or?
I think I'm going to go down to the one they have in Chesapeake.
Okay.
Great Bridge Fishermen's Association.
All right.
Has a nice one down there in March.
There you go, March. Great Bridge. Good stuff. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Are you on? Actually, let's do a spin of all this page for a moment.
Talk about your baits a little bit.
Yes, sir.
As soon as he gets done here. Now we got David with Dak Baits here. So what's your best seller here, David?
My best seller actually is our 6.5-inch Trickster in the black grape with red flake. In fact, it's so good, got sold out.
Gotcha.
So my next best seller is my 6-inch dangler. This is the color, very translucent. It's great in the long. The color and the action will do the work for you.
How can people find you? I mean, if they're not here today, how can they find your baits?
So you can find us on Facebook at DAC Baits, on Instagram, same thing, or our website, which is dac-baits.square.site.
Thank you, sir. Active duty, military, family-owned business. Very cool. Support them. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good stuff.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he came over. He's talking about trying to get these.
Oh, awesome.
This started going.
Just tell a story about, again, to people at home. So this is your daughter's color.
This is my daughter's color, actually. So we started with just doing a white with some green flake, a mint style. Well, threw some green highlight in. All of a sudden, it goes from a little bit of a tinge to a spearmint color. So she likes to claim, being an 8-year-old, she likes to brag about how she made it. So now we have spearmint.
I like that. That's a cool name. I like that name a lot.
That's her for you.
So guys, if you want to get the spearmint color, one of the best colors made, and you don't want to break a little girl's heart, you should buy a bunch of these. And this is something that you can get right here. If you're not at the show, link in the episode description to where you can go and find this stuff. Thank you, sir. Perfect. Hey, you're welcome.
How are you, sir? Got the Eye Shine Craws. Is this something you're making? You're making these little craws. Very cool. Thank you. What amazes me too, Thomas, is the amount of stuff that, and we're all like this, just containers and containers and containers of stuff that we've collected over the years. I know my cousin used to feel guilty about buying all the time, but somebody once told him that fishermen are collectors. When you think of you as you're a collector, then it's not so bad. It covers up the addiction.
It really is an addiction. And then, guys, let you know, I know there's a little bit of freeze on the live stream. We're doing what we can. One thing I'm trying to save up for is getting a amplifier, so when we do these live streams, we have better service. We're doing the best we can with what the wireless we got. What I'm hoping to do is get some of these people that you want to see better over to the booth, so we have better internet connection there. But again, I apologize for the lag. We're doing the best we can.
So you the Nova lure company? Yeah. You want to promote your product?
Yeah, man.
Live stream? What's your name?
Matt.
Matt with
man.
Nova Lure Company. Yep. How long have you been in existence?
4 years.
And what exactly are you doing?
Hard baits, soft baits. Yeah.
So these, you say these, or you're painting these?
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard of skim lures, but he's the guy that makes these frogs.
That is an interesting. That is an interesting. I've not seen one like that. So I'm assuming that's going to dive down. Or more of a wake.
Yeah.
Not so much dive, but probably more of a wake.
Yeah, if you crank it, you get,
Yeah.
But
Subsurface.
It's pretty much a wake bait.
That's a pretty neat design.
But I mean, I love swim baits. You fish the Potomac. I've had luck with these swim baits, especially in the spring, fishing the grass. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you've painted these.
Yep.
It's good quality work right there.
Thanks, man.
I know that's become popular as well, but that is
Yeah, I mean, it seems like
quality.
everybody's doing it now, but it's fun.
I imagine you enjoy it though.
Yeah.
You probably
Yeah, I love
enjoy
it, man.
it. Kind of therapeutic in some ways, you
Right.
know.
Yep.
And
Go
it's
out in the
artistic,
garage.
and it's see what your result is, and there's probably nothing like also when you've had a hand in creating that,
Oh, yeah.
going out and catching a fish with that.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to walk into a tackle shop and just buy a one off the shelf, but when you have a hand in designing it, making it, or painting it,
Yeah.
it kind of
Or
adds a little.
you go to a store and you can't find a color that you want.
That's right.
Paint it yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. There's been a big push for that. I think I'm hearing more and more people do this.
Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you do the plastics as well?
Yes. Yep.
You got a lot of that going on as well, pouring
Yeah.
plastics. So it's good stuff.
Thanks, man.
And where can people find you? They want to get you.
Yeah, on Facebook, Instagram. I have a website. Yeah.
Nova Lure
NovaLureCompany.com.
Company.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, tell us who you are.
I'm Chris with Horny's Custom Cranks. We do anything from deep divers all the way up to top water, and we sell all of our baits for $5 a piece. We're here to fill your tackle box, not break your wallet.
There you go.
Yeah, we do real good. We make high quality baits, laser sharp hooks, and they catch fish.
That's what matters, doesn't it?
That's all that matters.
And you're friends with Chris Tedrick as well,
yeah,
right? He's
I
doing
am
the spinner
friend.
bait.
Yeah,
So he told us you can come through. Come on through. You're good. Yeah, he told us to stop by and see you. So
Yeah, we're all from the same town.
the spook, right?
Yeah.
Little spook. It's hard to beat the spook. Walking the dog.
You gotta love that top
Great.
water
You gotta
bite.
love the top water bite. Amen.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So
We do. We also do custom painting. So if there's something that you want and I can find a blank for it, I can paint it. It's only $5. Have it shipped right to you. And there's some of those Rapala lures and jerk baits. They get a little expensive
That's
when
right.
you start adding them all up. But $5 is you don't cry too much if you get one hung up in a tree or down
That's
the beach
right.
for $5.
so it looks like they can find you on Facebook.
Yep, we're on Facebook. My number's on there. You can call me direct, leave me a message, and I'll definitely get back with you.
Very cool. Good stuff.
We usually run anywhere from, we usually have at least 150 baits in stock at all times.
Good.
So
How long have you been doing it?
So I've been doing it, I've been painting for myself for about 3 years. And then my partner, he's seen a couple things I painted. He's like, you might want to actually start trying to do this for a business. He's like, these are pretty good. And I was like, all right. Ever since then, I caught my first bass, the one I painted in Riverton, Virginia, and I just exploded. It went
Riverton
crazy.
on Shenandoah.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
We're from Hagerstown, Maryland.
Okay, good. That's close to Thomas.
Yep. So
good stuff. And there's something to be said about supporting local. We say it all the time, support local. And
oh yeah. That's one thing I always wanted to do. Sometimes you find some local guys and they have really good baits, but they're up there with the store prices.
Right.
And it's hard,
Yeah, that's
hard,
right.
It's hard on a person's wallet. So we try to keep our stuff around $5.
Good for you.
And I mean, it's a good quality product and it works. It catches fish.
That's right.
So.
Very cool. Well, keep up the good work.
All right. We
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Yep. Gotcha. Didn't know if you want to get him or get him later. Are you going to talk to him? Because this was.
Yeah, let's get him on the stage.
Gotcha. Guys, how's it going? Where are you guys out of?
Doing pretty good. No, we're just local.
Local? Crunks Custom Crank.
Yes. So these are, I enjoy fishing crankbaits, and I started in actually airbrushing and painting crankbaits about 15 years ago.
Wow.
Simply because the fact that I like to throw them. Been doing pretty well with them on the Potomac River.
Okay.
So this is my daughter, Jill. Jill's actually helped me design some of the crankbaits. It's been really successful. Jill, do you want to talk about your Jill's shad?
Tell us, Jill, the Jill's shad.
So the Jill shad has a base level of like your typical like shad, but then on the side it has like a little pattern pink, which would be different to the fish versus what you typically would see in the summer. And it has the little black in the dot to have that little shimmer to just pop.
Very good.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Jill's shad has actually been a color that I've been using quite a bit. When she first used it, we fished a tournament on the New Horizon Bass Anglers. She came in 5th. I came in 3rd. So
that's awesome.
We did pretty well on the Jill's Crunkleton shad. But I have a lot of crankbaits. We have a lot of ones that I use during the year. And I see the top 3 colors really that I throw and do pretty well on has been what I call the Crunkleton crawl. So the red crawl for the summer or for the springtime, and that'll go into the early summer that you can throw a red crawl. The other bait colors that I use, this is what I call a summer crawl. Has a little bit of a iridescent orange on the back that really pops. So I use this not necessarily in a wiggle wart style bait, but in a baby 1- bait. They've all sold out. And then the other color that I use a lot, also in different style baits, the 1.5 or the DT6, would be what I call a summer gill. Has a little bit of a greenish tone to it, but also has a gray-white base coat, and that allows that bluegill type of color as the bluegills are spawning. A lot of our bluegills here have a little bit of green on them, so that's also a good color. But I've got a lot of colors here that have been really successful. 5-time running champ at New Horizon Bass Anglers for Angler of the Year, and I fish mostly crankbaits. So
that's great too. That's something that, although these could work across the United States, the idea that you're throwing these on local waters and, like you're saying, you're having success with it. So it's tested, it's tried, it works on the local waters, almost like kind of matching the hatch, as the fly guys would say. And again, you can't find that just anywhere as far as, custom design, custom color, to fish the waters that are local in this area. So
yeah, that's really how I got started. I enjoyed fishing crankbaits, but I didn't necessarily want to throw what everybody else was throwing.
Right.
So many of mine are, they're similar, or other baits that are similar in the package.
Right.
Mine are a little bit different.
Right.
Fishing's all about confidence too, right?
That's right. That's
so,
right.
If you're throwing something you're confident in, it's probably going to work a little better.
Yeah. I just love it too. Like Thomas is always talking about, just, local and regional, and just, everybody, we see the big names and everything, but there's a lot of good things happen on a local level, as well. So, and the stuff works. So
Yep.
very good. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Have a
Great
great
job.
day.
Keep up the good work.
Yes.
Keep him straight. All right. Who's the better fisherman? Are you the better fisherman?
Obviously.
Obviously. I like it. That's good stuff.
Yes, she does really well.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Hi, guys. How's it going? Good. How are you? I'm going to get this guy on, John, right?
John, yeah.
Yeah, John. We're going to get him. Yep. We're going to get John up, I think, later. Tell us, John, who are you with?
Hi, I'm John Lippitz. I'm with Fish and Explore. Basically, we're outside nature guides and experiential learning. Primary focus is on youth. We do a lot of youth programs during the summer months. When we're not doing that, we do travel destination trips and adult guiding.
That is so cool. That's one thing we talked about to kick the show off. Just the idea of teaching, learning. Especially like you say, young people.
Yeah.
So Fish and Explore. That sounds like a really awesome organization. Where are you out of again?
We're actually based in Falls Church, Virginia.
Okay.
We run all through Northern Virginia. We also are over in Montgomery County, Maryland. So we kind of the whole DMV area. We offer programs for ages. Basically, our camp programs start for ages 7 up to 17, and then our family programs will start as young as 2 or 3, as long as there's an adult present with the child.
That is so awesome. Where can people find Fish and Explore?
Great, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. You can find us on the web. It's it's fishandexplore.com. You can call us at 215-1066. I don't even remember the number. I don't use.
No, that's good. I've heard Thomas talk about too, like this industry where, if we're fortunate to have a father or grandfather or somebody take us out, maybe mother, but fishing and teach us. But there's a lot of kids out there that didn't have, either parents didn't fish, they're working, or they didn't have a parent in the house to do that. And so, we don't want to take for granted to think that everybody does it. And so a club and a group like this to be able to do that is to fill that gap and void and introduce people to nature and fishing is
to see how many parents come with their kids where they just don't have the fishing experience.
Correct.
And we don't even fish. We actually sit and we go through gear.
Okay.
This discussion, what are the tactics and what do you use so that they can actually go to their local pond with their kids on other days. It's really kind of neat.
That is awesome. That is so cool. And that's what I love about this too, Thomas. If you don't come to stuff like this and you don't branch out, you don't realize that this is going on. You know what I mean? Even with the internet and just, you just don't,
cool.
Sometimes you don't know you're there, but that's cool.
Good. I'm glad you found us.
Yes, that's
I
awesome.
appreciate it. And, sometime I'd love to sit down with you.
Yeah, we might, before the show's out, we might get you over to do a sit-down, more in-depth conversation. So
Awesome.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Hey, you too.
All right, you want to take a 5-minute break?
Sure.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey.
Ernie Rojas. Hey, how you
Hey,
doing,
nice to meet you,
buddy.
When you were talking to Charlie the other day, talking about the shad run,
Uh-huh.
man, there is a massive shad run in the DC area.
I've never known. I didn't know.
You've got to be on it.
That's something I really want.
You got it. You have to do it. You have a boat, right?
You're live now, too. No, you're live. You're
Yes, sir.
sharing this
You-
information
you have a
out.
boat, right?
Yeah.
Go to Fletcher's. You put it in a gravelly. You got to get a DC license, $13. You can afford that.
Yeah, I think so.
Run up there and just shad darts. It's fantastic. April.
I've never I've seen people catch them on YouTube and little tarpon. I hear what they're like.
Well, you got to use light equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go up there with a medium heavy rod. You use a light rod with a couple of shad darts on it and just go to town. You'll love it.
What's the biggest shad you've ever caught?
I don't think it's 20 somewhere.
That's not bad.
Well, there's 2 kinds of shad that we're catching.
Oh, really?
Americans, which are bigger and heavier. That's the prize. That's what you want to go after. And hickory. Hickory get up to about 20.
That's not bad.
The hickory, they jump like crazy. The Americans do too, but it's the Americans is the prize. That's when they're a little deeper, so that's a little harder to catch than the hickory.
Okay.
But the hickory, the double shot. There's times you'll catch 2 in a row, 2 at one time.
What's your setup?
It's a shad darts, about 18 inches apart, 16 inches apart, 14 inches apart. It doesn't really matter. It all depends how you tie them. Sometimes you can tie one directly over the other one, and sometimes you can just tie them where you're actually doing a double uni with a long leader, right?
Okay.
So you have a little bit more of a V, and just using that. That's all it is.
Ultralight or heavy rod? What are you using?
Light is what I would prefer to use. Ultralight's probably a little light, A light will work. Light, medium light.
Okay.
Those will work fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's freaking awesome.
It's a blast.
Can you eat them?
Well, first of all, they're catch and release only.
Well, there you go. Never mind.
So you can eat them. They used to plank them, and then put them on a fire, and they would just have the fire going and plank them and eat them. They're very bony. Back in the day, George Washington, they sustained on those.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but they're not. They're catch and release now because they're kind of endangered. They're not a species that's thriving. It really is a bait fish. I mean, they go back out to the ocean, they become bait for a lot of big fish.
That's really crazy.
But they make that shad that run to spawn, and they're not eating. They're just ticked off, so they're hitting your lure.
Okay.
Because they're pissed off.
Like salmon, like when they make their run.
Kind of.
That's really cool.
It's a cool thing.
We're going to have to do that sometime.
You got to do that.
Well, I'll take you out. Let's do that. Let's make it a compliment of that. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. So, guys, what we're going to do here, we're going to take a 10-minute quick break before we continue doing the stream. We're making it back to our setup here. We're going to also try to get Chris over to the booth to pick the winner for the spinnerbait giveaway. And hold on one second. Hey guys, I'm back. All right. All righty, I am back here. Let's take a look at the old, we got here, spinner baits, please. That looks good. That looks good. Cancel. How is the connection, everybody? Good morning, Jerry. How are you doing this morning, sir? Please let me know, like, how bad was the connection? I'm really sorry about that. It was, again, hold on one second. All right, that's better. So most of it's, let's see, how was the connection? Most of it's good. And again, guys, right now, fishing the DMV is not like making a lot of money. So I'm slowly saving up what money I have to buy better equipment. So please bear with me. The next thing on the list, besides getting the next thing on the list, I'm trying to get is a signal booster. Right now, when we do live streams like this, we are reliant on cell signal. And so what I'm trying to do is get a signal booster that'll help us when we do these live streams. We have a roaming camera, so it's really crisp and clean. So again, I really apologize. I'm trying to improve every day. And again, so any donations that you guys make just go straight to helping us get better equipment, upgrading everything, so we can just make the product as professional looking as possible. And hopefully we can do more live streams kind of like this. Right now, do you guys have any questions in the chat? Oh, we got a bunch. All right, we're going to do the spinnerbait giveaway. Let's actually what we'll do is I will send Jared over with his phone and this when Jared's ready, and just have Chris look through the comment section below. Or actually, I could have Chris do it. That's a great idea. Have Chris just look through the comment section and pick the winner for the spinnerbait thing. Whoever said spinnerbait. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, guys, if you want to win a spinnerbait by Chris, he's the legendary spinnerbait maker in all the area. Put down a spinnerbait in the comment section below, and I'm going to have Chris pick a winner for that. Oh, it's so much better. Now I got my earbuds in. Oh, that makes life so much easier. Yeah, I feel like the lag is a little bad for this, but it's not too bad. That's the nice thing about when we went to Richmond is I was shocked at how good the Wi-Fi was. The Wi-Fi was fantastic for the Richmond Fishing Expo, and so I really didn't have to fear about. There we go. Perfect. So what was nice about the Richmond Fishing Expo is I really didn't have to worry about the Wi-Fi connection because it was so freaking good. But yeah, so we're going to definitely try to get that splitter at some point. We're going to figure out how to do that. Maybe I have to start an OnlyFans. Yeah, Linda, comment section below, Linda. So basically, when I'm using the computer and I have all these cameras that are hooked up straight to the computer, there's not going to be really a lag issue. It's when you stream with a phone and you bring the phone into it and you're walking around and the phone is trying to go from the phone to the hub, that's when you're getting the lag issue. And really that's because you need a signal booster. And there's a booster that you can buy, a pack basically, that'll help increase the connection level. Jared, Jake's Bait and Tackle, and Fishing the DMV, we're trying to partner with youth fishing tournaments so that we can actually live stream the weigh-ins for youth tournaments and high school tournaments. That's kind of our overall plan to try to do eventually. But to do that, we're going to have to get like a signal booster because some of these lakes, there is no internet connection. So the signal booster would not just be used for these local, really cool fishing shows and flea markets, but it'll also be used for high school weigh-ins, things like that. So we could actually bring more coverage to youth sports, especially the fishing youth sports, because they don't get covered like they should. It's really important to do that. So what we are going to do right now, we got Jared coming by. He's gonna have the big announcement, and we're going to announce our spinnerbait winner. All righty, guys, drum roll, please. For the spinnerbait winners, we have the number one is Chris Sherwood. Chris Sherwood, you just won a spinnerbait by what's the name of his company?
CT Custom Spinnerbaits.
CT Custom Spinnerbaits. You just won a spinnerbait by Chris Sherwood. And then Johnny Drax, DRX, I'm also going to throw in, and you just won a spinnerbait. Huh? So 2 spinnerbaits. Please give me your information down below, and I will super chat. Thank you. $20 from Chris Sherwood. Thank you so much. Yes, we're going to try to get that signal booster because, again, we're going to need it if we do the youth tournaments because, like at Bugs Island, there's no segment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, guys, we have Rippin' Lips. We have a couple other people that we're going to be going to today. Chris, thank you so much for the donation. I truly appreciate it. Guys, again, all the money that I raise from this, it goes straight towards improving the setup, improving the signal, being able to do guided giveaways. It all goes right back into building this thing up so we can be the #1 digital media platform in the Northern Virginia area. But Chris, you also just want a spinnerbait. So huge shout out to you, sir. Then we also have, making sure I find him, John Drix. Please message me on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll try to get you a spinnerbait as well. I need your details to be able to ship it to you. And then $50, whatever that is. So, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get back to the next portion of the show here. But thank you so much. We got more interviews that we're going to do. We're just taking a quick break so I can take a leak. Then we're going to be walking around again, and we're going to get some guests actually in studio as well, okay? So bear with me as I actually cut to commercial break because I'm acting like I've never been here before.
on my property. You didn't win in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Hey guys, it's Thomas Ahrens with Fishing the DMV. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're here all day. We are going to take a little bit longer break. We're going to be coming back at 10:40. You thinking, Jared? What time do you think we should get going again? 10:40. So we're going to be taking a 20-minute break here, so we can reorganize. Actually, you know what? Ask Ortega to get over here. There's no one at his booth. There's no one at his booth.
That's different.
Oh, I thought
that's not.
That's what I was asking.
No, I'm sorry. That's what I was looking because he was in here earlier.
That's what I was confused. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Just leave his son here. Anyway, guys, we'll be back momentarily. Please stand by. get this up and going. Guys, we are back. I'm sorry about that. Again, I'm going to do this because I am so ADHD about that. The camera's driving me crazy. All right, there we go. All right, everybody, we are back. I'm sorry for that lateness. I had to get some food in me since we're going all day here. We have another guest. We finally got our first guest really in studio, or second guest, my apologies. We had Larry Martin on earlier. This is a really cool individual with a really cool story. New Horizon Boat Building. He is, I guess, like how many years have you been up and running now?
We've been going for a year now.
A year now?
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome. And so I guess, the floor is yours. Like, what's the little backstory? Like, how did all this get started?
So I started in commercial electric construction back in 2013. So I've worked in data centers to college to universities, and I've done everything from large installs to a background in low voltage electrical work. And on the other side, I'm also just an absolute dedicated bass fisherman, and I've competed in everything from New Horizon Bass Anglers to the Bass Federation and even the FLW Tour.
Oh, so cool.
And what had happened is when in the past couple years, with electronics being a much bigger player, the electronics get more complicated. So you need to have proper wiring. So that kind of sparked it. It kind of sparked the idea, and I started doing work on my boat. And then I thought, well, if I can do it on mine, why not do it on someone else's? And because we're spending a lot of money and wired properly, you want to get a return on what you invested in.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's not for money, it's for fun.
Yes, 100%.
And a lot of this equipment is, it's fairly expensive. So to be able to have something that you can trust, to have it installed properly, it's definitely the best bang for your buck.
How long have you been with New Horizon? What was your connection with them?
So I met Ernie Rojas in 2010, and he actually got me in contact with New Horizon Bass Anglers, and they were some of the most influential people I've met so far in my life, and I'm only 30 almost, but it really set the direction for me as far as not knowing what I wanted to do out at high school, and they taught me everything to do with how to operate a bass boat, all of the equipment you needed, and it really gave me a safe education to get have my life go in the direction it needed to go.
That's so cool.
And I still fish with their tournaments every year, and I have been for 11 or 12 years now.
That's so freaking cool. I mean, and then, what did you say, Jared? Oh, I thought you said something. Sorry. So why, and then if you guys don't know, why New Horizon Boat Builds? That's a pretty cool story.
So when I came up with this idea to start this business, and I needed a name, I kept rattling off these marine ideas, and one of the club members started with Boat Build, and we just kept kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. And I wanted to name the company at the end in honor of New Horizon because of what they did for me. So I wanted to be able to do something for them in return.
That's so freaking cool. So where do you do this out of? Is this out of a warehouse? Is this your backyard? Like, where do you?
So I work out of our garage at our residence for now. As we grow, I have the plan to build a 24 by 40 custom built garage just for this dedicated work.
That's so cool.
So the business is growing.
That's awesome, dude.
We've had clients come from out of state and as well as Northern Virginia.
What's the farthest away?
North Carolina so far.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. And what's great is when you fish these tournaments, and I fish as a co-angler, not only are you making new friends, but you're building, business relations. So everyone I fish with is a potential client. And it's not all about making money. It's all about being able to say, I'm a master electrician by trade, and I also have a journeyman's license in the state of Virginia. So to be able to provide my expertise at the end of the day, and you can go out and catch fish and your equipment operates right, that's what it's about.
What is the biggest difference when it comes to the wiring? So example is, In one of my boats, I have like the Sonar Pro's wiring kit, and to a guy like me that doesn't have any intelligence when it comes to electronics, is there something different with the wire cabling? Let's say if you're running a 36-volt trolling motor with a lithium battery, a bird's eye view, is there something different in that wiring cable compared to what you put in a house?
It somewhat, yes. Your two biggest enemies in electrical and just in electrical work alone are heat and voltage drop.
Okay.
So if you're using a smaller gauge conductor for something that operates at a high amperage draw, you can have issues in damaging your equipment itself, or you're not getting the proper voltage. So your equipment's not operating at its peak potential, which is one of the big reasons why Sonar Pros, C-Clear Power have come into play, because they were providing wiring harnesses that were appropriate gauge.
Oh, okay.
So especially when you get under 50 volts and you encounter voltage drop from a 12 volt source to your equipment, you can actually not have 12 volts 20 feet ahead or 10 feet ahead.
You'll have that drop from there to there.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to think of it as you're basically the velocity of firing a gun. Your peak velocity is right at the barrel, and as it exits and it continues, it slows down. And it's the same theory fundamental when it comes to voltage.
Interesting.
So if you're operating a 16 or a 12-inch graph 20 feet away from 12 volts, your voltage, and you're saying a 14 or 12 gauge conductor, and maybe even 10, you might not have 12 volts, you might have 11.5. And it depends on your power source as well, if it's lead acid, lithium, or AGM. But the thing that I imply is I know the formulas and I know the calculations. So I can actually get a very exact estimate of what your voltage is going to be based off of the specs of each unit that I install. So not only am I installing this, but I'm also doing the calculations to make sure that whatever I'm putting in your boat is going to be exactly what you need.
That's crazy. You mentioned Sonar Pros right there, and the other wiring harness company, and then of course on your brochure you talk about your wiring harness.
Yes.
For people at home that have probably seen Instagram or some of these elites that have these big walkthroughs of their boats, is your wiring harness, is that kind of like the same thing basically? Is you create a custom wiring harness for each person's boat? Is that kind of the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
So it depends on if I'm installing one graph, two, or multiple. With our harnesses, I try and have them marketed at a fair price, and I use a marine grade conductor that's tin copper, which prevents any additional corrosion. And by using a copper conductor versus aluminum, you're definitely not going to have any corrosion, because that's what you want to be away from.
So that's the biggest thing with marine grade stuff. Because
Yes.
when I was a kid, it was like, it doesn't matter. The wiring doesn't matter. Just throw it in the boat. It doesn't matter. And then, because why spend the extra money? But you're saying like, yeah, this is actually very important. You need
Yes.
marine grade stuff.
Yeah. And another thing that we do is I actually install a sub panel, which is labeled and fused properly. So when you get to your boat in the morning, you'll turn on your master power, and you'll turn on an accessory switch that controls your electronics.
Ooh, that's
So
a good one,
you
guys.
don't have to worry about having a direct connection to your battery, which if you buy a harness with Sonar Pros or C-Clear Power, that's what you'll get. But coming to us, we actually prefab in-house and provide a switch and a panel. So everything is traceable, and you know exactly what circuit is serving which piece of equipment.
And guys, that'd be the biggest thing I'd say is like, so I know C-Clear, Sonar Pros, Hershey, they're all great companies, but they are Alabama, Tennessee based. And so unless you want to drive your boat, 3 days to get down there to have that custom service done, what's so great is you're here. So you don't have to drive to Alabama to get that kind of service. You can get it right in your backyard, which is completely different than just ordering a cable online. You can have somebody look at the guts of your boat, especially I'm assuming if it's an older boat that's probably had a shit show of a wiring job done for the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
I bet I need this. Do you have a story? What is the worst boat you open the back and you're like, oh my God?
It was actually recently. I did a 2007 Triton, and I might not get this exactly right, but it was a VT17, and it was beat up pretty well. And it's aluminum boat. That's what you're going to expect. But I took the time and I traced everything out, and any issues that I came across, I had those corrected. And I was able to, the gentleman brought the boat to me and he said, I want a trolling motor, I want new batteries, battery charger, new graphs, and I went and installed everything properly. So he had at the end of the day, he had a master power, he could shut off his graphs. He had an additional LED switch that controlled the heading sensor for the Ultrex. All of the cables that were on the exterior of the boat are protected by a cable sleeve.
Oh, wow.
So it's a nice, clean install. But his boat looked rough, and it went away looking newer.
Do you have what other social media? Do you have any social media outlets yet?
So far, it's just Instagram.
Just Instagram. Okay.
But as we grow, we'd like to get into YouTube to actually showcase on video the work that we do. Facebook, I doubt it. Instagram gives us a better reach, in my opinion, and seems to be a little more popular site as of in today's climate.
And what's your Instagram handle for the folks at home that want to follow you?
It's New Horizon Boat Builds.
New Horizon Boat Builds. Okay. And then, guys, give that a follow. And then when I chop this episode up, guys, link will be in the episode description to his email, everything, so you'll be able to find this gentleman. Last question I have, and this is forward-facing sonar. It sucks juice. And then you have people that are like, you should get lithium, you shouldn't get lithium. Like, where do you stand on all that?
So as far as forward-facing sonar goes, we do the installs for Lowrance, Garmin, and Humminbird. Me personally, I'm a big fan of Garmin. Them being the original, definitely, I love it. As far as a power source goes, I have yet to meet anyone who has a lithium battery that they are completely in love with when it comes to a starting battery. I recommend AGM Group 31s. And you think of that as an intermediate level. It's lead acid was your basic starting. AGM is in its somewhat of its infancy, but it has a higher reserve, a higher capacity. It's just a more efficient technology at this point. And you'll be able to operate not only, if you run a whole bunch of spots in a day, you're still going to have power left over. And the price is still relatively in a mid-range ballpark, which as we've seen with lithium, it's astronomical in most cases.
Yeah. It's super expensive.
Yeah. I mean, personally, with my boat, I run a Group 27 AGM Interstate with a 150 horsepower motor, and I still have power to crank up multiple times a day and still get a clear image.
Now, a lot of people talk about if you're going to run, I'm assuming the reason they state this is on the big series, people are running like 6 graphs, but you want at least 100 amp battery. So your big dog trolling motor batteries for that. And I've heard some friends like, I'm just going to grab this little one and I'm just going to run that. It should be fine. If your battery's not powerful enough, is there issues that could happen to your equipment if you have a battery that's not correct?
Yeah, if you have a battery that's not efficient, or you have too many too much equipment actually on the load of the battery, you'll see your processing speed decrease, your clarity will also decrease. In some cases, with some of the Elite Series pros who are running 5 or 6 graphs total, they're actually running 2 different batteries, one dedicated starting and one dedicated for electronics. Now, to the average person, you might run the most of 3 graphs. I haven't really seen anyone come through that's going to that extreme. If you're running 3 graphs and they're all 12-inch displays, you're safe to run it off of your starting. I do recommend, in some cases, and there's a lot of variables that come into play.
Of course.
But the opportunity to go through and add a secondary battery just for your electronics, especially LifeScope. Because all of your graphs, they might pull 1.5 to 5 amps, give or take. But with LifeScope, your module itself, which is the brain of the LifeScope, that's usually drawing about 7 at max.
Wow, that's insane.
It's rated at about 5.3, but I actually factor in something called as a continuous load. So if an equipment is operating more than 3 hours, you size your fuse to 125%. So we'll say life scope's at 7. That's a pretty substantial load on a 12-volt power source.
And I would like to say, so anecdotally, guys, like when I was a lot younger and I was running the original 360 on one of my front graphs, and I had it all on my starting battery, I ran into an issue where I killed my starting battery having everything on that one. And I was trying to save money, and at the end of the day, I almost got in trouble where I couldn't get home. So I do suggest, I believe personally, invest in getting an extra battery so that way you know your big motor will always start versus trying to put all those graphs. Because I've heard those horror stories too that Lioscope sucks juice. It really does. It kills batteries.
It will. Yeah. Now, if you're operating and you're running a spot safe like you're going to fish Lake Anna, you might hit 15 spots if you're using Lioscope. So each time you're running, your motor is actually charging. It's putting amperage back into your starting battery. So that can come into play, and that can be a benefit. But if you sit in a place, say if you're going to fish the Potomac, where you're going to be sitting for maybe 8 hours in a day,
yeah.
Well, you're not. That battery is just in constant draw. So in that case, yes, that'll happen. And I have had some clients who have asked for just to have a termination to their starting battery. I've had others talk about adding a secondary battery in. So it all really depends on the scenario.
Awesome. Good deal. Sir, I could keep you all day long talking about this stuff. It's fascinating to me, but I know you're popular. You got a booth. Again, guys, link in the episode description. New Horizon boat builds. Come on and see him. He's on Instagram, website, everything. Really, again, if you want to get the custom service, you can always order something online. I'm not saying you can't. But if you want custom, if you want to be able to talk to a human being person to look at your boat, you're either driving to Alabama or you can come right here in Northern Virginia. This is really awesome. Please give this guy a follow on Instagram. Sir, thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. Hey, thank you.
Guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And I'll be talking to you guys really soon.
on my property. You didn't win in my yard.
Wait.
All of you.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your hosts, Thomas Ahrens and Jared Mounts. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
literally have not stopped, which I don't know how much freaking memory I have left.
Yeah.
First question I have to ask is, when are we starting the GoFundMe to get you a little bit bigger boat with a motor? I just feel like it'd be more relaxing for you out there with a built-in cooler, foot pedal.
Well, so I got the foot pedal.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So, yeah, my wife for Christmas, she turned around and got me the it's called Troll King.
Yeah.
So I'm putting plywood in the bottom of my boat, and I'm mounting this up front. She bought me a new trolling motor. And this
Huge shout out.
That Troll King has an actuator arm on it.
Okay.
So it attaches to the pedal with a kind of like a C-clamp on the shaft of your trolling motor up front. So you push it forward, you go left. You push it back, you go right.
So freaking awesome.
It's an amazing idea for people with small boats that can't put, your full-size foot control trolling motor on there.
Mm-hmm.
So now, one, I don't have to sit in the back of the boat with the trolling motor and the batteries and my weight, where the front end of my boat sits up like this, and then I get in a little bit of wind and I just spin around in circles.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to work for me because I'll
That's
have
gonna
a
be
trolling
awesome.
motor up front, one in the back, and
you're going to be going.
foot control. Yeah, my little 10-foot bass rated with two 55-pound thrust trolling motors. I'll be playing it.
Now, are you still thinking about doing some tournaments and stuff, right?
Yes.
Does that sound like? All right.
Definitely going to be doing some tournaments.
So in 3, 2, 1, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Fishing the DMV. We are here at the Dale City Fishing Show. We are still streaming, still going strong. Again, if you guys miss anything, fear not. I'm gonna chop this up like I did the Richmond Expo. I still have like 5 videos from the Richmond Expo. I still need to get out, guys. I apologize. Anyway, we're here with the man, the myth, the legend, Marty Lawson. How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you again, dude. It's like been a week.
Yeah. Went to Richmond, and then we did the Eagles Club in Fredericksburg. That was a huge turnout.
I completely forgot about
It's
that
like
one.
3 times bigger than this show right here.
Really?
Yeah.
How many years has that been going?
Probably 5 or 6 years. But I mean, they really did it up. I couldn't believe how many vendors were there.
Wow.
It was amazing. Last year, with COVID and everything, they had a petition. So this year the petition was gone, and that whole hall was just filled.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It was great. They really put on a good show.
How many years have they been doing that?
I think at least 5 or 6.
What's so crazy when you start doing stuff like this is you find out about so much crap that unless you get into it deep, you don't. I didn't know about that show. This show I vaguely knew about. Like there's this underbelly community here that we need to bring awareness to, because if you want to go to a show and you don't want to drive to Richmond, no big deal. I think you should go, but if you don't, boom, you got Dale City. If not, there's so many little shows all around the place.
There is, and the best part is it's the smaller shows have all your local vendors.
Yes,
all your local guys making stuff, and I mean you've walked around. I mean,
it's fantastic.
You got everything here.
It's there's something a little bit for everyone, and there's also information, and that's what's so vital. Is like even if you don't buy anything, just go in here and supporting. Maybe you throw them a couple of dollars. You're going to learn information about the local bodies of water you fish. That a big international show, you're not going to get that kind of juice.
No, and the other thing is I've had a lot of people just stop by the table and ask about techniques.
Yes.
And, people that have never fished a Ned rig or a drop shot or shaky head or something like that, there are people asking about it. Well, so if you have the knowledge, you share it. And that's what's great about these smaller shows is you really get to engage more than in the Richmond show. The Richmond show is boom, 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 boom. But here you get to actually just stop and talk and learn. And, there's great people at these shows.
And this was interesting. And Jared and I were actually talking about this in the car is, I'm blessed because I got a media company where I get to go to ICAST now. And I did ICAST, I did Richmond, I did this. And my view on what you gain from each one has definitely changed. ICAST is great. ICAST is great if you want to see what the new bait is. That's where the reveal is. But if you want to make connections, that's not, I think, the place to go. It's you go regional. You go to Richmond, where it's like these are people you're going to see more.
Right.
And then you go local, and these are people I'm really going to see more. The people that I go to and see at ICAST, I probably will never see again. Like, that's it. It's national. They don't care about Virginia.
They're from all over the country.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so it really showed you the importance of these local shows and these regional shows, and they don't get the attention they deserve.
No. I mean, like the guy sitting in front of us, that little magnet thing, it's amazing.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go
grab that. He's off. Yeah, we're gonna give him props. There you go. This thing. Yeah. Hey, give me that. Yeah. There we go. All right. Cool. So this is called Magnalure right here. This is the case that it comes in. You see that? All right. That's cool. Take a good look at it. There's the card. I don't know if you can see the QR code or not.
This bad boy.
So this here is what they're making. 3M product on the back. So you glue it to the side of the boat or a seat or anything. It sticks. 3M. We know everyone has 3M in their house.
Yeah.
But it's magnetic. So, you're changing lures out and stuff like that. How many times you just throw them in the bottom of your boat and then either they get rusty because you didn't get them out or it's just a mess. Well, this thing here is magnetic. And it is amazing. What do you got? You got
I got a coupon code so you can read better. It says save 10% with VACA.
Yeah, that's a Virginia Kayak Association.
Oh, okay, that's because I'm an idiot. So,
yeah. So
say it again.
This product here,
VKAE
from Magnalure, you get a 10% discount when you buy it using code VKAE10.
Right here.
Props on that.
So if you save it 10% with code VKAE10, you can get a discount on this. It's absolutely
this is just, it's awesome. I mean, there's a set of pliers. He's got his keys sitting there. He's got a jig sitting there. He's got a shaky head sitting there. That is awesome.
And guys, sorry about that. Like I know I got the $100,000 camera and the little GoPro, so this one is a little bit better for showing stuff off too. Making sure you get that. This is so interesting, and a little history on this because I think the history is fascinating. All this compartment stuff like this, all this got started because one day Aaron Martin opened up the lid of his boat. Again, Aaron Martin passed away, which was really sad, but he had foam. And he would go to hardware stores until he could find the perfect foam, and then he ripped out everything from his front deck and he put the foam in there so he could like hang lures. And somebody saw that, and then every single manufacturer has been trying to duplicate it. And this right here is probably the best duplicate I've seen since then. With
that is awesome.
And then I like this. I don't know how hard that is. Let's try that right here. Yeah, so that's pretty solid too. So you're not going to tear that up either, because I was thinking about if a hook touched that,
get hooks stuck in there and stuff. Yeah,
that's really freaking durable.
It is. That's amazing.
You're right. A local thing.
Yeah,
that no one would have thought of.
Exactly. And yeah, I'm going to jump on this when I get home and get some of these things for my boat because especially with my small boat, I'm throwing stuff down and stuff will fall over. Well, now I can just slap it right on this thing. This is great.
And then you also mentioned to me off camera that you have something else big news too. For ripping lips.
Monster Bass, which is a subscription service. You get a monthly box. Pay like $36, you get $50 worth of baits. To me, it's the best subscription box out there. Okay, and I'm giving props to them. But something that the CEO Rick Petrie wants to do is get more involved with veterans organizations. So I got thinking about it, and what was happening was he does a live every Thursday, and people were doing a super chat and dropping money in there, and well, about half of that comes back to the people that you're actually donating that to. So we try to brainstorm to come up with a different way to do it. So on the monsterbass.com website now, there's going to be a spot, there's going to be a Venmo, and you can donate money. You just donate money. The money is going to go into a separate account. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that money and we're going to buy Monster Bass boxes and we're going to send them free to veteran tournaments.
Wow. That's awesome.
And, there's veteran tournaments all over the country. As a matter of fact, there's a guy in here today. He does one for Veterans Day. and I'm already talking to him. We're going to get his information. We're going to get some free boxes out to him from Monster Bass. And
that's awesome.
So
that's so awesome.
I'm going to be what they call me, a veteran ambassador for Monster Bass. And we're going to be doing that. And there's several other veterans that work with Monster Bass. We're all going to get together, and we're going to really start going to support these veteran tournaments. So as part of the prize packages coming out of the veterans tournaments, they're going to get a Monster Bass box, which I just think is fantastic. Monster Bass also always gives a 10% veterans discount with that ID Me. You've seen that. Yeah, people need to sign up. If you're veterans or active duty or first responders, get that ID Me. There's so many places to give discounts with that.
How did your relation start? Because I remember we were drinking till like 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit. Like, how did the relationship with you and Monster Bass get started?
So it got started where I called into his live show.
Okay.
So he has a call in, and I've gone on. He has pros on, and all that type of stuff. You can call in and ask questions. Well, I just kind of became a regular. He calls me Marty Party, and he found out that I worked at the Pentagon. And he's like, "Yeah, Marty has GS-14 clearance," and we joke around and everything. But I tell you what, he does a lot for the veterans, and they put out good products. They have their own lines now of baits and rods. Their rods, they just came out this year with the rods. And it's just by talking on his live shows, we just started connecting. And next thing you know, he's calling me just before Christmas, talking about this veterans idea. And then his right-hand man, Rafi, him and I were on the phone for 40 minutes night before last, and we've been texting back and forth, and the Venmo is actually active now. So if you go to monsterbass.com, you're a veteran, or you don't have to be a veteran, but if you want to donate to help support veteran organizations holding these tournaments where we can send them baits, because a lot of times it's disabled vets.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to send them a box full of baits for their region is just, to me, that's a no-brainer.
Regional thing too. That's huge.
Yeah, regional is really big.
You don't want an ice fishing jig if you live in Florida. Like
right. So he does northern. He does southern region, southwest, northeast. So he does the different regions for his boxes. As a matter of fact, this month for February, it's a Strike King takeover.
Oh, that's so cool.
So he's teamed up with Strike King, and then in March is going to be Z-Man.
Oh, wow.
And then other things that they've done is technique specific. So one month they did Tokyo rig. Another month they did Carolina rig and Texas rig. So they're actually doing that, and that opened me up to trying different things. So the Tokyo rig, I looked at that and I'm like, wow, this is kind of unique. I rigged it up, very first cast with a Kitech swim bait on it. Very first cast with a Tokyo rig, I caught a 3.5 pounder. Very first cast using it. And I was like, oh, this is going to work. So the fact that it's a subscription box, and if you join, first box is like next to nothing. I mean, it's real cheap. But he does it in such a way where they send you stuff that works together. It's not just random. So they put things in like just say Z-Man shaky head. They'll put in the shaky head weights or the hooks with the shaky head on it, but he also teams it up with baits that work with shaky head. So it's not just random stuff, and they put out good stuff. Big Bite Baits. I mean, he's got great suppliers, and they put good stuff in the boxes. So this whole thing with the veterans, I'm really going to start working this. Awesome. And get a hold of the different, because all you have to do essentially is Google veteran bass fishing tournaments, and you come up with a slew of different places. And that's what my job is going to be, is reaching out to these organizations that are holding these veterans tournaments and say, hey, would you like some free boxes?
And that was my next question. If people want to support you, what is the best process if they want to do that?
So to support this is go on monsterbass.com or tune into their live shows, and there's going to be the ability to donate funds directly to Venmo to a separate account. And every Thursday, what we're going to do is on his live, we're going to give an update. This is how much money has been raised. This is how many boxes have been purchased, and this is where they're going. So it's going to be all above board. And that's the way we're going to do it. We're just going to start supporting the veterans with these boxes and stuff. And I just think it's a great idea.
That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm feeling good for you this year. It's like you got the new trolling motor, you got this amazing like opportunity. It's like it's going to be a lot of fun to see like how this grows and develops this year.
It is. I'm really looking forward to it. I got to post some videos. I'm having trouble with my video editor right now.
I think you have a guy though near you that could probably help you out.
Yeah, he might be able to help me out. You know, Shane Flint. Shane is, and that guy's taken off. And at the Eagles Club show, I had his hat on. And actually in Richmond, it's funny. He has stickers with his QR code on it. And I said, give me those stickers. And he's like, why? And I said, because I'm going to talk you up. I mean, I ran him out of stickers. He had none left because I was just talking to everybody.
So when will you have to start wearing makeup on camera? Like as you get super like big time, like the news anchors, you have to start wearing.
Well, I still got to lose some more weight first because, you know, so I looked at videos from last year and I'm sitting in my boat and I'm like wearing short sleeve shirt. And I mean, I look like Jabba the Hutt sitting there in my boat.
Got a testicle hanging
I just
out.
I look like a toad fishing, right? I'm just sitting there and it's just, I'm low to the water. So all of this mass just kind of crunches into a small area. And I'm like, I can't put these videos up. This looks horrible. So yeah, I've lost 20 pounds.
Well done, sir. Congratulations.
In the past 3 months. And I need to get down to about 200. I'll put myself on camera, but I'm not sure I'm going to take those videos where the camera's ahead in front of me, looking back at me. Because, man, I just look like the fishing blob. You know, I mean, I'm catching fish and everything, but it's like, man, people aren't going to pay attention to the fish. You're going to look at that thing and be like, how does he fit in that boat? But you and I went in my boat.
Yeah, we did.
I mean,
no problems at all.
Yeah, it's a good little thing.
I mean, the hardest thing was like you said, what you saw was that you had to be in the back, and you were so limited with that setup. And now it's like it's almost like it's opened the world up. With
Well, I'll tell you what really benefits me is, you know, I take a lot of people fishing with me. I have friends and I have kids that I'll take fishing with me. And it always happens that the guy up in the front of the boat, I'm in the back staring at everything. The person in the front of the boat always catches bigger fish than me. So to change that, you know, now I'm going to have that foot control up front. So whoever goes with me is going to be sitting in the back.
There you go.
So I'm thinking I'm going to be catching bigger fish this year.
I don't know. You almost beat Shade and I in that tournament we had.
Yeah. Sniper.
Just coming like across
Sniper.
the thing with the net on the side. It's like
Yeah.
he just did it in that one corner. He did it.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was so
yeah,
good.
I wasn't feeling too good that day, though.
Neither was
was rough.
I wonder why.
Yeah, that was rough.
Guys, we will definitely this summer we'll try to do a revamp of that with more. I'll bring more cameras and stuff. We'll have like a little YouTube tournament because that was a lot of fun to get down.
Oh, we
there.
had a blast. That was a good time. But
Fire
I
up the
think we need to
barbecue.
refrain from
the extracurricular
the
activities.
before fishing night. A whole bottle of Jack.
That was
What is
rough
it?
as hell.
Jack
Fireball? Was it Fireball?
cinnamon.
Yeah.
Something. Ooh. Man, drinking it out of red Solo cups.
Oh my God!
That was the rough part.
Wife made gingerbread houses for Christmas, and I got in a cold sweat smelling that cinnamon. Like, oh my God, this is some PTSD.
Yeah.
from that night.
But yeah, again, I'll tell you, the wife wants you to come down to eat.
Yep, we're making that
And
happen.
She's coming up with new recipes all the time, so you know.
Well,
it's,
I can always eat. That's not a problem
that
at
was
all.
that was good. I mean, she had 2 sons, and she's from the South, so
okay.
She does not cook small, you know, and it's just her and I. So when she cooks now, it's like, okay, I know what I'm eating for the next 4 days because she makes so much of it. But
it's not a bad
I love her.
thing.
She's good. She's good for me. She lets me fish. She lets me buy fishing tackle. She lets me do all that stuff. So it's all good. Yeah.
Marty, again, guys, Rippin' Lips. Please follow him on YouTube.
Rippin' Lips with Marty Lawson.
Rippin' Lips with Marty Lawson, guys. Link in the episode description when I re-upload this. Thanks again for coming on. I mean, you're like a regular now at this point. I tell you,
I know,
guys.
I'm a regular on Monster Bass too. So go to the website.
Yes.
Tune into the live show. You join the subscription, you get a golden ticket, you get a chance to win a whole box of stuff. I did once. This box was a 12 by 12 box. It could barely be taped together.
Wow.
And Yeah, because everyone sends him stuff, so
that's awesome.
He fills these boxes. So,
So,
yeah,
guys,
great.
what we're going to do is we're going to end this live stream, and then I'm going to re-upload a new live stream since this is getting to about 3 hours. So go to the YouTube channel and check it out. We will be launching the new one here about noon just to be the finisher for the evening. But again, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time on Fishing the
Thanks.
DMV. Yep, bye. And we are